let's go with, I Googled for systems of the body, and here's an image that popped up. Why did I do this? I wanted to show you that in fact, the things that are happening in biological life are not all that different from the things that are happening in science, in universities, and in virtual spaces. I'm just going to start here at the top and go around clockwise. Now, I don't know if this represents all of the systems of the human body. Let's just assume it does because I'm not a health expert and I found this nice little picture. So, immune system. What do we do in society, or what field of study at a university is somewhat like the immune system? Criminal justice is what I heard. I agree. I mean, in society, I didn't spell it right, just stick. Come on, justice. Basically, bad people do stuff, we don't like that, so we send out the white blood cells to go find them. They pull out their guns and show their badges and arrest the white blood cells, and that's kind of how it works. You see how there's a very clear analogy there, right? Do you think there's going to be an analogy for every single system in the human body for all of society, or is criminal justice kind of the obvious one? Let's go around and see. Okay, what's your digestive system?
I think education.
What's that? Waste management. Waste.
No, that's actually a
There's an excretory system down here, so I don't want to use that one yet.
I say education.
I'm going to go with mining, processing, like recycling. Yeah, factories. Okay, we could debate about what all these are. I don't want to take too long, so I'm just going to move on. But we do a lot of things like digesting. We certainly mine for minerals. We process. We do recycling. We do. Anybody that's going to manufacture products is going to have to take raw materials and turn them into some organized system. That's kind of what your body's extracting minerals for, is to build your body, right? Okay, cardiovascular system. There's shipping, transportation, there's delivery. Now, who knows, pretty soon we'll probably be doing it by drones, but right now we've got FedEx, we've got UPS, the US Postal System, and whoever else is delivering stuff. Maybe Amazon will be sending drones to deliver medicine to your doorstep really soon. Maybe, I don't know, but you know, aren't roads very similar to veins? There's blood cells pumping through all the veins of your body. There's trucks driving all over the roads carrying stuff here and there. You know, maybe J.B. Hunt and all the trucking companies that ship stuff. Integumentary system. That means skin. The way I know that is, you see that picture there? Okay, let's check. Integumentary system. Google says, the integumentary system comprises the skin and its appendages, acting to protect the body from various kinds of damage. There you go. Okay, how about border control, military, Department of Homeland Security, passports, and wow, that just was, I said passport, my fingers just started typing. You can tell there's some things you type more than others. By the way, that shows you something about how the mind works. You see how you do things a lot, you kind of etch a path, and the path just comes out. Respiratory system. I struggled with this one. Anybody think? I settled on power generation. I don't know if that's exactly the same thing, but you know, our respiratory system pumps out carbon dioxide. Our power generators are really what pollute our air. Why? Because they're generating energy to make the whole system run, and that's kind of why we breathe. And I guess, what's our endocrine system? Yeah, because the power generation of the earth is causing respiratory problems for the humans. I can see that. I guess when I get frisked by the TSA, that makes my skin crawl. Does FedEx cause my blood to...
You're excited when you get a...
It's not quite working for me. I get excited when I get a pad. There you go. We're finding it. Yeah, so endocrine system produces hormones. These kind of regulate your body at a high level. Does anything regulate society at a high level? Yeah, legislative, government, politicians. Basically, they set the rules. They don't tell you what to do with your daily life, but they do tell you at a high level, companies should do this, and they change the incentives, right? They make it hopefully not in your personal best interest to go be robbing banks all the time. But they don't tell you what to do in your daily life, so they're not making all the decisions that you do. Reproductive system. I'm going to go with NASA or SpaceX. Why NASA? Because Earth is alone. And isn't that sad? We want to be we want to have redundancy. We want to propagate our life and make it continue long after the sun turns into a red giant and consumes the Earth. Don't worry, it won't happen for another billion years. Actually, it's like 4 billion years. In 1 billion years, apparently, the Earth will be so hot that all the oceans will boil away and life will die anyway. Yeah, we don't know everything. Maybe climate change will throw it off. But can you kind of see that NASA, at least is trying really hard to find other life and trying to spread us onto other planets? Okay, I'm stretching here, but I think society does a lot of things as the body. Okay, excretory system. There we go, waste management, that's obvious. Musculoskeletal system. What's that, civil engineering? Industrial engineering? Okay, what's the nervous system?
Data network.
I'm going to claim it's IT, right? I mean, did the Earth not just recently grow a nervous system? I think it did. I think it's very clear the internet is the nervous system of the Earth. And that's kind of interesting to see that the Earth is trying so hard to become more and more like these living organisms that have working systems that operate the same way that biology has discovered. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's not brand new. It's just more efficient than it used to be. Yeah, I mean, they had, before the Pony Express, they did carrier pigeons, and before that, they did people with pack mules walking from here to there, and they carried letters. So it's not like the Earth hasn't had a nervous system. It's just been working on it for a darn long time, and now it's suddenly starting to work, interestingly, a lot more the way the human body does. The human body repeats electrical signals as they travel throughout your body. But in many ways, and this is interesting, the Earth is more advanced. Our bodies hardwire from our brain down to each of our muscles. The Earth has a packet switching network. And that's kind of cool to see the Earth thinking better than we are. Have you ever thought about how many thoughts are going through the Earth's brain at any moment? Mostly cat videos. But nevertheless, you can't even think about as many cats as the Earth can imagine, all at the same time. And every academic paper, every thought that's being passed around on the internet in formalized document form, every YouTube video that's being watched, the Earth is thinking about a lot of things and is starting to figure things out. And in many ways, I kind of am afraid or delighted and excited about the fact that I think the Earth is smarter than any one of us. I think it's a lot slower. I think it's probably about a teenager right now. But pretty soon, I imagine that we're just going to recognize we're just cells. Each of us are just individual little cells, and when we die, hey, the whole system keeps on going. And doesn't that give a certain purpose and meaning to everything you do? Okay, the best, most exciting one, what's the brain? Obviously, it's computer science, because that's the field we're in, and we're not going to let somebody else be the brain, right?
I really hope it's not Twitter.
Yes, better not be Twitter or Google or something like that. Although Google seems to own Google is probably a lobe of the whole brain. Okay, well, there we go. I claim the Earth is not just like it's alive. The Earth is alive. Unless you have some really crazy definition of life that depends, that says it must be biological and must have DNA, okay, then the Earth is not alive. But clearly it has systems that mimic just about everything that happens in biological life. Okay, let's assume computer science is the brain. That makes us all feel good, because we're all computer scientists. I Googled for the different parts of the brain. And, it took me too long to write them down, so let's just talk about it. I'll start over here on the left. Reasoning. Isn't that kind of what we do in algorithms class, or even just writing code in general? We write code to if this, then that. We follow these reasoning paths, and we study how to get from here to there. Isn't that really what reasoning is all about? And sort of behavior? Memory. We teach databases, do we not? Databases store stuff and retrieve it, hopefully efficiently, because that's the point of a database. Movement. We're going to study movement here. I should do some visual highlighting of what I'm talking about. there, movement. We'll study path planning here in artificial intelligence. This is where we use a machine to figure out how to move in order to get to where you want. In fact, assignment 1, we'll do path planning. So very soon you will see that AI nails that one. Personality. I'm going to claim heuristics are kind of our personality. These are the high-level things that guide our decisions and the way we operate. So we've pretty much nailed that one. I guess we can say the frontal lobe is algorithms and AI. I'm just going to delete it to keep track of what I've done so far. Okay, we have intelligence. What field is like that in computer science? Clearly, I'm claiming that one as AI, right? Although, it depends what you mean by intelligence. There's different aspects of intelligence. We'll talk about what some of those are. But computers do things like unto intelligence. I'd just accept it. Sensations. Do we have anything like sensors in computer science? Maybe cameras with accelerometers built in that are permanently connected to the internet, the nervous system of the world, that constantly monitor everything you do in your life and broadcast it to some centralized server that's going to monitor it at all times. Yeah, we've got sensors. Cameras are ubiquitous now, and we're improving them to the point we're even starting to overpower our own sensors. You put on an AI goggles, and we're letting the machine create an entire virtual world for our sensors because we understand it so well. Language. You ever heard of Alexa or Cortana or Siri or whoever else is actually just a machine doing NLP in order to figure out what you're saying? That's increasingly an important part of computer science. Reading, I mean, hey, the web, right? Google, everybody that's scraping the web for any particular reason is doing some kind of trying to understand what's documented and written. So machine learning is very big into reading. We're trying to take data and build models internally of what's going on, just like you do when you read a book. You read a book, you imagine in your head what's being said, you try to learn from it. Okay. Think we covered this one. Speech. This is probably speech synthesis. Do you remember in the 80s when robots all talked like this and it was cool? I do. I grew up in the 80s. You guys don't think that's awesome anymore. Back then, we knew robots would speak in monotone. They had to, or they wouldn't be robots. Now they don't, but okay. Hearing.
Can we already cover this?
Yeah, kind of repeating ourselves. Same with emotions. Okay, there we go. Computer science clearly does that. Vision. Have you ever heard of computer vision? Yeah, whole field on that. Muscle control. Let's see. We've got robotics. That might be starting to branch a little outside of computer science, but we'd cover robots too. Coordination, balance, these are all still kind of in the realm of robots. We're still trying to figure it out. I'm going to claim maybe that part of the Earth's brain isn't as developed as it should be. Robots are lumbering and slow and incompetent still, but wouldn't it be awesome if they weren't that way forever? Have you ever seen Boston Dynamics robots, like the headless dog? They go around and kick it and the thing doesn't fall over.
They're really creepy looking.
Yeah, they're really creepy looking. They always paint them black just so they're scary. I don't know why they do that. They're terrifying people, making them think the robots are coming to take over. They're not. It's going to be a long time. But when they do come, I'm on their side. Just putting that out. Okay. Okay, breathing. I struggled with this one. I'm going to go with parallel processing because you breathe and talk at the same time. I've been able to give this whole lecture without even thinking about breathing. And we're not talking about the physical act of breathing. We're talking about the brain process that controls it without interfering with the rest of your brain. So, yeah, we do parallel processing in computer science too. Okay, we do automation, parallel processing, swallowing, kind of the same thing. It's just memorizing processes. That's kind of basically recording how to do stuff, macros, and then whatever that's what all of computer science is. Algorithms and code are just there to write down the formula for accomplishing stuff. Okay, if anybody doubted that computer science is the brain of society, I think we've proven it. Everything the brain does, we study in computer science. Therefore, anybody else claims to be the brain? No, we are. Politicians like to claim to be the brain. They're the endocrine system. Computer scientists are the brains. Okay, well, having said all of that, if we're going to put the whole thing together and build a great big artificial intelligence, we've got to figure out this organ. This one last piece of the puzzle that we can't reproduce of a human being, because we can build a lumbering bad robot, and it's not, I mean, it's kind of like an android person, sort of. Yeah, we can't replace humans entirely, but we can replace the heart. Apparently the heart doesn't matter that much. We can replace pretty much all of your organs if needed, and we can replace the whole thing and just build an android if we want to, except the androids are stupid. They sit around doing dumb things, falling down stairs, or just being subservient while humans kick them and they try not to fall over. No, those Boston Dynamic robots are not angry about it. They're just sitting there recovering. So don't worry, the robots are not coming yet. Dun, dun, dun.